All right, well, I'll go ahead and get started and welcome those of you that are able to join us to our second parent workshop. This month in this quarter, actually, what we're going to be talking about is stress in the holidays. So, we're going to introduce ourselves again. Those of you that do not know everybody on the team, my name is Joanna Shanky. I'm the school psychologist at Round Top. If you want to scroll to the next slide, you can share a little bit so you can see some pictures of our family. One more. There I am. So my name is Joanna Shanky again. I'm the school psychologist here at Round Top. I also serve at Blythewood High School, and you can see a little bit about myself. That's my family. This is my fourth year in Richland too. I previously was serving in Illinois. We are new to, well, I shouldn't say new to the area. We've been here for quite some time now, but this is my 20th year as a school psychologist. It's the best career in the world. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. I have three girls, and they are aged fifth grade, seventh grade, and eighth grade, and a little puppy. And I always joke, although I'm not joking, he is my favorite. My girls all know that very well by now because he doesn't talk back, but that's a whole nother story. So that's just a little bit about me. We'll go ahead and I'll let the rest of our LSS team introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Bettina Henderson. I'm the school social worker here at Round Top Elementary School. I also serve Blythewood Middle School. I've been here at Round Top and in Richland too for going on 11 years now. I was born and raised right here in Columbia, South Carolina. I attended Richland 2 schools. I got my bachelor's in social work from Winthrop University and master's from University of South Carolina. I've been practicing social work for 16 years now. I have an awesome husband and four wonderful kids who I'm very, very proud of. One is here helping us with our technical support here tonight. She is my Clemson Tiger, my trader. And I have another 16-year-old at Blythewood High School who will be headed off to Winthrop University next year. And I have an 11-year-old at Blythewood Middle School and a third grader who's about to be 9 here at Round Top. And all of my kids have attended school here in Richland too as well.
You're muted, Miss Shirley.
Hello, everyone. My name is Robin Shirley, and I am the school counselor at Round Top Elementary. And this is my first year at Round Top Elementary in Richland, too. However, it's my 9th year as a school counselor. I absolutely love being a school counselor. Best job in the world, like Shanky said, right? And also, I love being at Round Top and having the opportunity to work with these amazing women. I am the proud wife of my husband. Next week, we celebrate 10 years of marriage, and I'm very excited about that. We have 3 children. I have a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a newborn who will turn 8 weeks on next week. And that time has just gone by so quickly. So that's a little bit about me.
All right. Well, we can jump right in. You ladies make me feel bad. I did not mention my husband. I do have a husband as well, and we've been married for 15 years. And I just realized I don't ever mention him, and that's terrible. But so thank you. So we're going to talk about stress and really try to incorporate it into stress in this holiday season, because we know that there sometimes can be a lot more stress in terms of the holidays. And so one of the things that I want to differentiate a little bit too is when we throw around the term stress, worry, anxiety, we're not going to be spending a lot of time talking about anxiety disorders. I will kind of touch a little bit on maybe when you should seek outside support when that stress or that worry becomes a little bit more. So we're going to talk about stress. Stress is a natural response. It is an anxiety is actually a natural emotion. And so a lot of times when we hear anxiety, some people think that's bad, but actually we're wired to have some level of stress and anxiety. It's what keeps us safe in stressful situations. And it's also what propels us to want to do well and reach goals and really to do our personal best. And so anxiety or stress alone isn't bad. It's sometimes our response to it can be what the problem is. And so, like we've talked about on this slide, It's what helps us meet our challenges. It motivates us. It motivates us. And so, what are some things that might cause stress in children and adults? And so, a lot of times, especially here at school, is we see some students have a stress response when it comes to a test or quiz. And again, I want to let parents know that's not alone a bad thing. We want our kids to care about doing their personal best. When it becomes excessive, that's where maybe that we would want to have a conversation about when does stress or anxiety maybe become a little bit bigger. But that's a different conversation. And we, three of us, you have our contact information. You can reach out to us anytime if you're concerned about that. But that's not really the focus of tonight. Presentations can cause some stress in kids at school. Peer pressure, that's a big one. What do our friends think about us? What do our teachers think about us? Homework, that can be an area of stress in kids. It can be an area of stress for parents as well as helping with that homework. And we've talked about that peer pressure, but just how are we getting along with those around us? How are we fitting in? Who's our friend group? And really starting to navigate, especially at the elementary level, what does it mean to be a friend? And how is a friend different than a classmate? And so all of those things that they're developing and they're dealing with can be areas of stress for them. Adults, of course, money, work, our job, some of the same things. What do people think about us and how do we fit in? But our lives get a little bit busier with making, planning. And that comes up a lot in the holiday season is there's a lot of busyness. I think busyness is pervasive in adults' life too. So it's something that we will talk about a little bit later in this presentation. We've talked about relationship issues, but also health. That becomes an area of concern as we get older, aging parents, that as well. And so those are some areas of stress that maybe are a little bit different for students, children, adults, but then of course there's a lot of overlap. So there's family stressors or family issues that can cause stress in our lives. And then of course, we've talked a little bit about some of those emotional issues. We have individuals ADHD, depression, anxiety. And one of the things I guess I'll touch on briefly, and this might come up again later, is when does stress or anxiety become something that may or may not be a disorder, is when we are looking at irrational, excessive, or just really interfering with our ability to function day to day. And so those are three things I guess I'd want you to kind of put in the back of your mind. But again, reach out to any of us on the LSS team, and we're happy to talk with you and answer any questions and help you maybe navigate that if it's more than just stress.
Okay, so we're going to look at some of the signs of stress. And if you just look at this chart, and I think this is something most of us, we can pinpoint, yes, I feel this. This is how I know I'm stressed out. Some of the things that I see often, especially in children, you see the acting out, and you can tell when they become overwhelmed because those emotions become so big, and sometimes they don't know how to cope with what they're feeling. They don't know how to pinpoint, okay, I'm just stressed out right now. And as you see, I do see that oftentimes our fifth graders, they're getting to the point where they're able to say, I'm stressed out or I'm anxious right now. And so just putting the actual feelings with what you're going through, just putting it all together is something that we're definitely working on. Headaches, realizing that you have a difficult time concentrating, becoming withdrawn, feeling like, you know what, I don't want to hang out with my friends right now. I don't want to be around my family right now. I'm feeling overwhelmed. If you ever notice that you start snapping once you feel like you're overwhelmed, if you start feeling like, I just choose to be alone, those are some things that pinpoint stress. Those are some things that we should really look at. Getting sick more often. And then, as Joanna stated earlier, those depressed feelings and overwhelming feelings of sadness that could trickle into other things. We're going to discuss that a little later so that you'll know, okay, am I stressed out or do I really have generalized anxiety disorder? So I'm glad Joanna brought that up, and we'll go a little bit more into that. Change in eating habits, noticing that you're not eating well or you're eating more than what you normally eat, just recognizing those things.
Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about stress and the holidays because we all know holidays don't cause us stress, right? Ha ha ha. It's probably the most stressful time of the year for everybody. As a kid, you remember it was just that fun, great time of year. Santa came and all that. But as adults, we are responsible for making the magic happen. So that sometimes leads to some extra stress for us. It's Even as adults, the holidays can be a time for joy and excitement. But we know, like I said, making the magic happens, it has its own level of stress. You get stressed out about buying gifts, about the kids are out of school. Or if you got kids like mine, they might be eating you out of house and home like once the holidays hit. Um, you may have extended family coming into town and relatives that may be staying with you. Not all of us are off on the holidays, so you may be dealing with all of this while also trying to keep your regular work schedule. And just planning for this time of year can be stressful. If you're feeling this way, don't worry. It's very normal, as Joanna and Robin stated earlier, and we are here to help. That's what your LSS team is here for.
Okay, so we're going to talk through just some tips. And again, it's really hard to go deep in a 30-minute. We just kind of want to give you some quick ideas that maybe you could grab onto. But again, reach out if you have specific questions. And so one of the first things I would say is be realistic. Be realistic about your capacity. This is even beyond holidays. One of the things that, is really important is just knowing what you can handle. Like one of the things we talk about in our family is the difference between myself and my husband. He is a doer. He likes to be on the go. He likes to be active and I don't. And so I know my capacity for commitments outside of work and the kids is much lower than his. And so that helps us navigate really what our expectations are and how realistic is it to do everything. And so we're realistic and we try to make a plan from there. And so I think that's really just important, just to be honest with yourself and where you are at. And it's not right or wrong. We're just all wired very differently. Again, this is a conversation we could talk about in depth, is sticking to a budget. Okay, really take inventory of your financial situation and try not to overwhelm yourself. Have honest conversations with family. Look for creative ways that if you want to celebrate the holidays, that's meaningful, but it's not going to stress you out even more by extending yourself beyond what you can afford. Is looking at what you're bringing in every month and how much is going out for the have tos, and looking at what your margin is, and really trying to stick to that. That will help create less stress on the back end of the holidays. This kind of goes back to that first point, is learning to say no. And so one strategy that I've found that's been really helpful, that I sometimes work with my teachers with and with parents, is I really like a paper calendar. Is get a paper calendar for the week that has the hours of the day and block off the have tos, the time that you need to sleep, the time that you're at work, your travel time, all of those things that are non-negotiable. And then you'll get a good idea of what is the rest of your day and your week and your margin really like, and add accordingly. We joke in our house that we have a little bit of a motto that if it's not a heck yes, it's a no. You cannot do everything. And so pick your best yes. Be realistic with your time. And so I would just encourage you to try that maybe for a week or two, and you'll really get a snapshot of what that time frame you're working with, and it'll help you prioritize, and you'll feel better saying no, because you'll know you just can't be everywhere and be everything. And so that will help you. And so Miss Shirley, I think you were going to kind of pick up on some of these. We were going to kind of tag team some habits and some tips for you for managing that stress this holiday season.
Absolutely. Thank you. So, we also want you to remember what matters most. So, we know that this season we want to, most times, especially as parents, we want to give. We stress ourselves out trying to figure it all out, trying to plan this event, trying to figure it all out. And we just want you to remember what matters most, our family. These days are going to pass by, but we'll never get this time back with our family. And so we just want you to take your time, enjoy the moment, relax, Take time out for yourself. Take time out to just laugh and watch a movie with your children. Just enjoy those small moments that you'll remember for the rest of your life. That, you know, as time go on, we're going to look one day and our children are going to be in middle school, high school, college, and we're not going to have that time back again. Give yourself some grace. Be kind to yourself. And sometimes that's the hardest thing for us. We seem to give grace to everyone else but ourselves. So we want to remind you, you know, just be kind to yourself. Say those kind thoughts to yourself. Make sure you're giving yourself positive affirmations and saying, you know, I am doing a good job. Pat yourself on the back, even if no one else is doing it, because those are the things that are going to help keep your stress level down. And we have to remember that we can give out to everyone else, but if we're not giving to our own selves, it's just a waste of time because we're going to burn out. And so in order to keep us from burning out, just give yourself that grace, give yourself that time to say, okay, I'll figure it out. It'll get done. I'll figure it out. Don't harp on these New Year's resolutions. You know, of course, we all know we're going to be like, okay, I'm going to exercise every day. And I know I'm not going to be in that gym every day. Like, you might catch me a couple of days out the month, but it's not going to be an everyday thing. So just making sure we're being realistic, creating those actual SMART goals, but not actually saying, okay, January 1st, I'm starting this, and by June, it's going to be this. Just give yourself some grace. Take it easy. Just relax. Just enjoy things. Be thankful. We know that gratitude is also a great way to reduce your stress levels. So even if you have to, one thing I like to do is every morning, I like to think about something that I'm thankful for. I even like to think about a person that I'm thankful for. And sometimes I just send a random text message or write a random note just to say, I'm so thankful for you. Thank you. And that helps me remember how incredibly blessed I am. And it helps me remember that, you know, the right people are placed in my life to help keep those stress levels down. And when you're around great people, when you're around great family members, it just helps you. It pushes you a little further. It keeps you remembering, okay, I can keep going a little bit more, and set those boundaries. And boundaries are sometimes hard for us, especially when we're parents, we're wives, we're husbands. We want to make sure that we're doing it all. We want to be the great friend. We want to be the great family member. And sometimes we just have to say, I can't do it. Sometimes we just have to say, my schedule is just too packed up. Sometimes we just have to say, I'm at full capacity, and just create those boundaries. And those of us who, when you set boundaries, those people who truly love you, they will understand.
One of the things I like to say is boundaries are a gate, they're not a wall. And so the gates allow that back and forth, but it really does. What is my capacity and what do I need? But it's not meant to wall others off from us. But Ms. Shirley, you're right. The people that love and care about us are going to respect that. And so that's just something someone had said to me years ago. And I thought that's a really great visual.
Oh, yeah.
So some tips for stress management for children and adults. I'm not going to go through these necessarily in order. One thing, planning ahead, we know that this is a busy time of year. We know what stores look like right now. We know what lines look like right now. So plan ahead, like go expecting that you're going to have a long wait. And who knows, you might be pleasantly surprised, and they may have two cashiers open at Walmart instead of one. So just go plan ahead. One thing that I try to practice is I always take a book everywhere I go. So that, because I know that, like, you know, in my younger days, I wasn't a very patient person. So I would take a book everywhere and expect a wait. And it seems like since I've been doing that, I can't even get through a page of my book before the line moves. So just plan ahead and give time. Don't give yourself like strict time restraints where you're kind of stressed out standing in line or whatever. Try to get enough sleep during this time of year. There are things that, think of it, if it can wait for tomorrow, save it for tomorrow. Don't do what I do and wait until Christmas Eve to put toys together and get batteries. So go ahead and just kind of plan ahead and go ahead and look at those things now so that you're getting enough sleep for the holidays, because you deserve to enjoy those days just as well as the kids do. Um, Listening to calm music, whatever your calm music is. My calm music may not be your definition of calm. So whatever type of music helps you relax and helps you to, kind of get in the right state of mind. Doing mindfulness exercises. Sometimes if you ask some of your kids, they can teach you more about this these days than we can. Just all of the different counting exercises. One of the first things that I know I do, and I'm sure Miss Shanky and Shirley do as well, when we have a kid come to our office that's upset, is we remind them to breathe. And we may go through a couple of breathing exercises to kind of calm them down, to bring them back to a place where you can have a talk and have a conversation and listen. So when you're in those moments, when you're, dealing with maybe in-laws or the stress of Christmas dinner or what have you, do a self-check and ask yourself, am I breathing? Because a lot of times you'll realize that you aren't really breathing that well. You aren't really deep breathing, and kind of be mindful about that. Plan exercise. Get out and take a walk and enjoy, instead of just staying in the house with all of these extra people and the family and the toys and stuff everywhere. Go take a walk, get some sunshine. Avoid negative thinking. Everything is not going to be perfect. There is no perfect holiday, no perfect Christmas or whatever. You can probably think back, and some of the Christmases that you thought were perfect as a child, your parents probably were like, everything went wrong that day. But children see that differently. So just kind of like we've said before, give yourself some grace and just not don't be so judgmental on yourself when it comes to that. There's no way of making this perfect. Build in time to just play games and enjoy your family and have some playtime. Even if you're not in a field where you're getting like a winter break or whatever, most of us do get some time off during the holidays. Cherish that time with your kids and with your family. Like Miss Shirley mentioned earlier, at the blink of an eye, they're in college. So I could have sworn I had several kids at Round Top just yesterday, and now I have two that are like pretty much in college. So take time to enjoy this time with your family and stick to any healthy habits that you try to maintain throughout the year. Try to keep those up throughout the holidays for yourself.
One last thing I will add to this list, just as we are talking, is find your tribe too, right? And delegate. Your kids are capable of more than probably you give them credit for sometimes. And if you're anything like me, I really felt like a lot of the household things had to be done by myself, and they don't. And so it's figuring out what needs your specific skills and what's something that you can ask someone else to do. And that might look different every day. But we have to practice this at work sometimes, of what really needs my attention, what needs Miss Henderson's attention, or what needs Miss Shirley's attention, or what can be handled by any of us. And it helps us really prevent that burnout. Is really trying to decide who can help you, and really try to take that into your home of, can someone help with those day-to-day tasks? And it doesn't always have to be family. What can you farm out if you're able? And so that will help reduce the load that I think sometimes we as parents put on ourselves. So just wanted to add to that. But that was really the end. Like I said, we really couldn't get super deep. We wanted to kind of give just a little bit of information and really help you all. First, you're not alone. This is a stressful time. Here are some ideas. Maybe you can choose one, hold on to, try. And then of course, reintroduce ourselves to those that maybe don't get the opportunity to see us very often. Let us know that we are here, because there is a difference between stress and anxiety disorders or depression. And so for you to know if those are the concerns you have, you know who to reach out and talk to about that. So are there any questions for those of you that are on right now that we can answer? We'll go once. If not, that's okay. And sometimes we're not comfortable asking questions in front of a group, but we do have door prizes and we're trying to respect everyone's time and try to end at 6:30 because we do know your time is precious and we've talked a lot about holding your schedule, so we're not going to keep you much longer. So
Okay, so time for prizes. Yay!
yes. So we'll do the first prize that we have is we're trying to keep with our themes like we did with our attendance is we have
Drum roll. We have.
I was like, is this spinning or?
It is, but we're waiting on you to present the prize.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. We have, I don't know if you can see it with it. This is an essential oil diffuser that you can actually clip to the vent in your car and you put the oils on these little balls and you can have some aromatherapy on the go.
Okay, now go.
I'm sorry. I was waiting for the spinner that was going very, very slow.
Yay! So awesome.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Congratulations. We will get this sent home tomorrow. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, the good news, everyone, is we have two. So who's going to be the next winner of our Yay! All right. Okay.
Congratulations. Okay, now for our final door prize, who's going to be the proud recipient of, I have to read this every time, a 3D sleep mask headphone set. Let's see. Spin the wheel. Uh-oh. It didn't take the name out. Remove.
Yeah, no double dippers.
Okay, let's try it again. Congratulations. We will get this to you tomorrow.
Yay.
All right. Well, that is all we have for the night. If you are free to go, if you do have a question, we'll hang on for just a couple minutes. If not, you have our contact information to reach out to us. But you all have a great night and a very Merry Christmas. And we'll see you next quarter for our third parent workshop.
Yay.
Yay. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Any last minute questions? Or are we good, ladies? I think we can stop recording.